as everyone gets seated, I want to make sure we kick off with our lunch opening keynote. I have Matt Dallhoff here from Pryon, and he's going to be talking about how AI has become more ubiquitous and enterprise leaders face a challenging dilemma. On one hand, they need to leverage the power of AI to increase productivity and drive innovation. So Matt's going to walk us through all those fun things. A little bit about Matt. Matt is all about AI-driven business transformation. He's currently the Director of Strategy and Operations at Pryon. He drives critical initiatives, including strategic pivots, educational programs on generative AI, and high-impact partnerships with industry leaders such as Dell and Oracle Cloud. With a foundation in engineering and an MBA, Matt's career is marked by successful roles at CREO Incorporated and Brewview, among others, where he has consistently delivered innovative solutions and strategic growth. He's an alumni of the University of North Carolina's Kennan Flagler Business School, and Matt leverages deep technical expertise, strategic insight to position enterprises at the cutting edge of technology and market leadership. So without further ado, welcome, Matt.
Thanks, Brian. Awesome. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, everybody, for having me here today. So as Brian mentioned, we're going to be covering off on responsible AI. And to do that, we're going to take a little bit of a walk through generative AI, the risks that come along with that there, RAG as kind of the de facto solution to enterprises' ability to leverage that. And throughout, I'm going to make everybody understand how Pryon and Washington Commanders sensation quarterback Jaden Daniels have in common. So what does Pryon do here? Pryon, in a nutshell, we are transforming enterprise and government trusted yet messy content into interactive conversational experiences. And this is brought to you behind the minds of Amazon Alexa, developed over the past 7 years, really doing RAG before RAG is cool. So let me just quickly get a show of hands here of who has used ChatGPT or Gemini in the past week? Yeah. Likewise. So as a Washington native, now living down in Raleigh, coming back here for a couple of days, wanted to get a sense of Mambo sauce. What's new in Mambo sauce in DC? So I asked ChatGPT, and I got a great answer. It's the overachieving student of the AI world. Not only tells me where to go, but where it is, why to go there, what to order. It's phenomenal. But when I turn that internally, when I turn that into my own company and ask it anything about the knowledge that we have within, it falls down. So what is our return policy? Best case here, we get an answer that says, I don't know, I'm just an AI. Worst case, though, we get what happened to Air Canada, our friends up north, of the chatbot actually responds with a made-up policy that they then have to honor as the courts decided. So instead of being able to just ask this solution, what is our return policy, we're instead left with our traditional methods of going through our network drives, looking through these outdated wikis, or leveraging those pre-programmed chatbots that we all know and love that always give great answers, right? So I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but generative AI and these realities really do exist across functions, whether it's a customer trying to get information, an employee trying to dig in to do their job, or a leader trying to make a decision. Tapping into that knowledge has been a nightmare up until now. And it's widely known as well that generative AI does have a lot of potential to change the way that we're experiencing knowledge within our companies today. You know, both from an economic standpoint as well as from a time standpoint, CEOs, industry experts, analysts across the world agree that generative AI can truly transform each of these different functions here. But it can only do so if it can overcome these types of risks and limitations that naturally come with generative AI. Whether it's the reliability of those responses, the hallucinations that we've all heard of, the biases in the results. For anybody who's been on the internet, especially the past couple months, there's a lot of information out there that is all feeding into those models that are being trained. From a privacy, from a data security standpoint, not only that the content that we have is in a trusted place, but that the questions that we are asking, a lot can be learned from those questions. We want to make sure that those stay within the walls as well. This information is only as current as the last time that that model was trained. And as we'll see in an example to come here, that information is frozen in time and everybody has access to the exact same pieces of information in these public models. And so while we have a few kind of more serious examples here on the left, what I want to kind of use to demonstrate this here is really an example that's near and dear to our heart at Pryon. So our founder, Igor Zhablykov, big name in the AI space, founded the company that ultimately became Amazon Alexa. And when we asked ChatGPT today, last year, the year before, where is Igor Zhablykov from? It very confidently comes back with, Igor Zhablykov is from the United States. He was born in Russia, but his family moved to the United States when he was young. So we know that's not quite true because we have some insider information here. So we follow up. We ask it, are you sure? So it acknowledges, yeah, I'm just an AI, maybe I get things wrong, but it not only reiterates, it actually goes a level deeper and says, not only is he from Russia, he's from Moscow and he came over here at this age and so on. Now we know Igor Zhablykov, our founder, proudly born in Greece. And I bring this up as a somewhat low stakes example of just where this can go wrong. And this really encapsulates that hallucination element, the biases in the results, really kind of taking his last name and inferring where he might be from. This information being frozen in time, as I mentioned, same response that we get today as we got last year, and ultimately a lack of domain-specific knowledge that's needed to actually answer this question actively. So what do we do? What we do here, and won't go too deep into this, but we all know and love RAG now. RAG has really kind of defeated fine-tuning as the de facto solution to enterprise AI for most use cases. But what I'm going to do to kind of walk through how this middle layer here really has allowed enterprises to tap into their own knowledge to make AI a reality is tie this back to my home team, Washington Commanders. And I'm thrilled to be able to talk about the Commanders in a positive light. I've only ever been able to use them as examples of what not to do. And so here we're going to kind of look at the three different elements of this in the coach, who's calling the play, the quarterback, who is retrieving that information, the play call, interpreting the playbook, reading the defense to be able to get the information, the pass out to his receivers. And this is easy to do in practice, right? You know, any high school quarterback or, you know, even the Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott, can complete a 9 out of 10 passes or so in practice. But as more things start to come at you, as that defense gets lined up, as the referees start blowing their whistle, as the fans in the crowd start to get on you, as the weather starts to hamper, and if anybody is not familiar with this right here, just Google FedEx Field and sewage and you'll see some other distractions that kind of come in the way. And so being able to complete these types of passes when all of this is coming at you really requires somebody who has been there, done that, has the tool set to do so. And it's the same reality with enterprise RAG. RAG is easy to develop a prototype unless any of these things here are true. Those responses need to be accurate, especially as content changes and users are added. It needs to be able to scale with your organization. You know, it's one thing to build RAG off of a single folder location or a handful of files, but to do so at scale, again, requires those types of tools. Or the security is important to you. Are you able to tap into the existing cloud solutions, or does it need to be on-prem? Does it need to follow the best and brightest of security features? And is time important? Can it take months, or does it need to happen in weeks? And this is why this very small diagram here at the bottom kind of shows so many homegrown RAG solutions will sprint to POC, get the executives excited, capture that exec buy-in before slogging to production, and many times ultimately falling down before it gets to any true value. And so what Pryon is doing here to work through all of this is we've really, over the past 7 years, been building these types of tools to enable RAG, like I said, before RAG was cool. A fully orchestrated platform with modular solutions across retrieval, ingestion, and generative. And absolutely not going to cover all of these technologies here. I'm going to show you why in a second it's important to have all these different layers behind these retrieval, ingestion, and generative elements of your RAG solution. So why does this matter? I'm going to pull back up my good friend, Jaden Daniels here. Yeah. And so if anybody remembers last year or the past 25 years, the commanders have not been very good. What has made Jaden Daniels so good here is the vision to be able to see the field, his processing to interpret everything coming at him, the speed to adjust, the resilience to come back from bad plays or injuries, the accuracy to deliver the right information to his receivers, and the security to hold onto the ball. And so with a somewhat pedestrian set of receivers, he's been able to take the same offense from a bottom 10 offense last year to a top 5 offense this year. Now, if we look at our neighbors up north, the New York Giants here, they have one of the best receivers in the league, one of the best rookie receivers that's come to play. If we think back to our RAG analogy here, you might consider Malik Neighbors here the GPT-40 of the generative layer. One of the best, most powerful processors out there, but you give him a quarterback in Daniel Jones here who isn't quite up to par to deliver those passes, while you have the best generative layer out there, you come in with the worst offense in the league. And I apologize to any Giants fans out there, only kinda, but. And I bring this up, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but to say that it's these same attributes that make Pryon really the premier platform to quarterback that safe, secure, responsible enterprise RAG process. It's the vision and resilience to understand the content wherever it is in whatever format it lives in. It's the processing to understand and break apart the questions, not just for the keywords, but for what they truly mean. It's the accuracy to then pull those together, match the best responses with the best answers out there. To do this quickly, to deliver that type of delightful experience in weeks and answers in less than a second. And of course, security. Maintaining control of the responses, of the content, of the questions being asked, whether it's in the cloud or with what we're doing with some of our government customers, fully air-gapped on-prem, to deliver RAG at scale securely. We're doing this right now, today. We've actually been working with NVIDIA for about 2 years, deployed with their gamer community for a custom chat solution, with the World Economic Forum, ingesting, understanding their decades worth of proprietary content for their 80,000 users, with the Department of Defense, the Digital Transformation Office, as well as some customers within the Army, to not only provide these types of chat solutions, but report generation as well. And then what we're working on with Dell from a digital human type of experience. But what I want to take away from this is really it's a orchestrated platform to build any of these securely at scale. So I'll wrap here. We are Pryon. Some of the profound experts in the field came together 7-8 years ago to really put this together. Been deploying with some of the biggest, most secure customers out there to really allow enterprises and governments to take advantage of RAG today. Thank you.